All right, all right, all right. Let's get ready to go live. Get ready to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, got a couple of black magic sitting next to me. Coffee fund, guys. Check it out. buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. Put a little something in the tip jar. Keep this black magic coming my way, baby. Get another little sup of that. All right, y'all. Good looking, sexy people. Looks like the feedback loop has reached you out there in Happy Land. We're sounding good, man. That mic sounds clear. I can appreciate all the good looking, sexy people that put a little something in the tip jar in the past that enabled me to buy this microphone. You can get involved too, man. You can get with the picture over at buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. With no further ado, let's get ready to go live. In 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Y'all good looking sex people doing all right out there in Happy Land tonight. Good looking out. Appreciate you being here on another one. Monday, June 2nd, 3:17 p.m. here in the Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon, Twilight Zone, Old Peking, far behind the bamboo firewall. Francis Lunas Aerospace of the OTA, Frank Monday, coming at you once again like Finnegan. So if you've got a yen to expand your kin, then let's get zen, baby, you and me. If this is your first time, please don't let it be your last time. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment on the video, ring the bell. Hit the super chats. Super duper duper chats is where it's at, baby. Super duper super chats is where it's at, baby. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Hear that ring with super duper super chats. All right. Welcome back, Wayfarer, Wanderer, Wildcat, Wizard, and Warrior alike, wherever you are, whoever you are, and whenever you may be receiving this transmission. I hope you're doing well. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. Let's check out the time frame, see where everybody's tuning in from out there in the old Happy Land. Some of you are probably in Dreamland. Approximately 9:18. In Stockholm, Sweden, 3:20 here in Beijing, 9:18 in Berlin, Germany. Wow, it's pushing into the deep abodes of the night in Memphis, Tennessee, that old pyramid out there by the bridge. 2:18 in Memphis, Tennessee in the AM. 1:20 Denver AM, 12:20 Los Angeles, California in the AMs. New York City, way late for you guys, man. Burning the midnight oil if you're out there on the East Coast. The least coast. The East Coast, right? 3:20. Looking at like close to 3:20 on the East Coast. So I guess if you went a little even further east, you might be in the UK. Dublin. Looks like it is 8:20 in the evening in Dublin. Or is that morning? Maybe that's morning. That's weird. How does that even work? 9:20 either AM or PM in AM. AM. Very strange. Oh, they must be in the future like me. Whereas all the rest of y'all good looking sex people are trailing behind in the past. That's okay. Let's start off the show the right way with a sup of coffee. Delicious. You know, I like my coffee like I like my magic black as night. Adoration of Abraxas, everyone. Take a deep breath. Hold it for 3, 2, 1, and command yourself to relax. Holy art thou, Lord of the universe, the vast and the mighty one, creator of heaven and earth, maker of all things visible and invisible, master of both the light and the darkness, he who was, is, and shall be. We adore thee and we invoke thee. Send us one of your divine spiritual agents, our holy guardian angel, to protect and guide us through the innumerable snares of the earthly sphere, and a cleansing wind to disperse all negativity and endless human opinion. Teach us those secret things which we must know for the completion of the great work and the glory of thine ineffable name, Adonai. So it is commanded and confirmed. So mote it be. Amen. Hail unto thee who art Ra in thy rising, even unto thee who art Ra in thy strength, who travellest over the heavens at the uprising of the sun. Tahuti standeth in his splendor at the prow, and Rahor abideth at the helm. Hail unto thee from the abodes of Dreamland. Remember, O neophyte, goodness alone is power, silence is strength. Will regaineth omnipotence, and love lieth at the foundation, because love is the law, love under will, and do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. With no further ado, let's allow Israel Regardi to lead us through the invocation of Thoth.
Invocation of Thoth. Procul, O procul esti profani, or lasti ompeda. In the name of the mighty and terrible one, I proclaim that I have banished the shells unto their habitations. I invoke Tahuti, the Lord of wisdom and of utterance, the God that cometh forth from the veil. O thou majesty of the Godhead, wisdom-crowned Tahuti, Lord of the gates of the universe, thee I invoke. O thou of the ibis head, thee I invoke. Thou who wieldest the wand of double power, thee I invoke. Thou who bearest in thy left hand the rose and cross of light and life, thee I invoke. Thou whose head is as an emerald, and thy nemes as the night sky blue, thee I invoke. Thou whose skin is of flaming orange as though it burned in a furnace, thee I invoke. Behold, I am yesterday, today, and the brother of tomorrow. I am born again and again. Mine is the unseen force whereof the gods are sprung, which is as life unto the dwellers in the watchtowers of the universe. I am the charioteer of the east, lord of the past and of the future. I see by mine own inward light, Lord of resurrection, who cometh forth from the dust, and my birth is from the house of death. O ye two divine hawks upon your pinnacles, who keep watch over the universe, ye who company the bier to the house of rest, who pilot the ship of wrong, ever advancing onwards the heights of heaven, Lord of the shrine which standeth in the center of the earth. Behold, he is in me, and I in him. Mine is the radiance wherein Ptah floateth over the firmament. I travel upon high. I tread upon the firmament of new. I raise that flashing flame with the lightning of mine eye, ever rushing on in the splendor of the daily glorified Ra, giving my life to the dwellers of earth. If I say, come up upon the mountains, the celestial waters shall flow at my word. for I am Ra incarnate, Kethra, created in the flesh. I am the eidolon of my father Tamu, lord of the city of the sun. The God who commands is in my mouth. The God of wisdom is in my heart. My tongue is the sanctuary of truth, and a guard sitteth upon my lips. My word is accomplished every day, and the desire of my heart realizes itself as that of the Ptah when he createth his works. I am eternal, therefore all things are as my designs, therefore do all things obey my word. Therefore do thou come forth unto me from thine abode in the silence, unutterable wisdom, or light, or power. So, Hermes, Mercury, Odin, by whatever name I call thee, thou art still nameless to eternity. Come thou forth, I say, and aid and guard me in this work of art. Thou, star of the east, that didst conduct the Magi, thou art the same all present in heaven and in hell. Thou that vibratest between the light and the darkness, rising, descending, changing ever, yet ever the same. The sun is thy father, thy mother the moon. The wind hath borne thee in its bosom, and earth hath ever nourished the changeless Godhead of thy youth. Come thou forth, I say, come thou forth, and make all spirits subject unto me, so that every spirit of the firmament and of the ether, upon the earth and under the earth, on dry land and in the water, of whirling air and of rushing fire, and every spell and scourge of God the vast one may be obedient unto me.
All right. That was perfect. Great way to start off the show with Israel Regardi giving us the invocation of Thoth. Guys, we're on Emerald Tablet 9 today. So this one's called The Key to Freedom of Space. Let's get into it and figure out what's going on. If anybody wants to tune in during any time, any point in the show, just let me know. Drop me a line. I'll drop you the link. Of course, the link is already in the Discord. Let me double check that to make sure. Frank Monday Backstage is now open. Okay, that's from last time. All right, I'm jumping over here on the Discord, guys. There it is there. That'll give you early entry without having to necessarily let me know. But yeah, it's open now for people that are on the Discord. You can find information for the Discord about it on the Frank Monday channel. Just go to the About section. Just go to the About section and then click on that, and it's got an invitation there, so you can join. You get backstage, and always be on your P's and Q's when you're in a Discord, because you know whatever you say and do reflects who you are, and I always want to have a good relationship with people going forward, and I seek to have relationships with mature people that have accountability and are looking forward to spiritual progress. Let's get into it. Emerald Tablet 9 from the Book of Thoth. The Key to Freedom of Space. List ye, O man, hear my voice, teaching of wisdom and light in this cycle, teaching ye how to banish the darkness, teaching ye how to bring light in thy life. Seek ye, O man, to find the great pathway that leads to eternal life as a sun. Draw ye away from the veil of darkness. Seek to become a light in the world. Make of thyself a vessel for light, a focus for the sun of this space and time. Lift thou thine eyes to the cosmos. Lift thou thine eyes to the light. Speak in the words of the dweller, the chant that calls down the light. Sing thou the song of freedom. Sing thou the song of the soul. Create the high vibration that will make thee one with the whole. Blend all thyself with the cosmos. Grow into one with the light. Be thou a channel of order, a pathway of law to the world. Thy light, O man, is the great light, shining through the shadows of flesh. Free must thou rise from the darkness, before thou art one with the light. Shadows of darkness surround thee, life fills thee with its flow. But know, O man, thou must arise, and forth thy body go, far to the plains that surround thee, and yet are one with thee too. Look all around thee, O man, see thine own light reflected, aye, even in the darkness around. Thine own light pours forth through the veil. Yeah, I hear you. I'm stewing some ribs over here, guys, and my alarm was going off. There, I got that taken care of, and I am back. That didn't take long, did it? Wayfarer. Welcome back, Wayfarer. We are reading Emerald Tablet 9 from the Book of Thoth, the Key to Freedom of Space. Let's get into it. Me and you, baby. Me and you are getting into it tonight. This evening, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you are, whoever you are. Seek thou for wisdom always, let not thine body betray. Keep in the path of the light wave, shun thou the darkened way. Know thee that wisdom is lasting, existing since all soul began, creating harmony from by the law that exists in the way. List ye, O man, to the teachings of wisdom. List to the voice that speaks of the past time. I shall tell thee knowledge forgotten. Tell ye of wisdom hidden in past time, lost in the midst of darkness around me. Know ye, man, ye are the ultimate of all things. Only the knowledge of this is forgotten. Lost when man was cast into bondage, bound and fettered by the chains of the darkness. Long, long ago I cast off my body, wandered I free through the vastness of aether, circled the angles that hold man in bondage. Know ye, O man, ye are only a spirit. The body is nothing, the soul is all. Let not your body be a fetter. Cast off the darkness and travel in light. Cast off your body, O man, and be free, truly a light that is one with the light. When ye are free from the fetters of darkness, and travel in space as the son of light. Gotta flip the page, guys. Got the old pages here on a clipboard. Gotta flip through them one by one, or get at it. Gonna get at it with you, baby. Me and you. Getting at it. Emerald Tablet number 9. The Key to Freedom of Space. Flip that over. That's page 37. That should coincide with page 36. Back to back once again, like Finnegan. There it is there. It's looking wonderful. That's just perfect. Though from our knowledge it is hidden, yet still forever exists. The key to worlds within thee are found only within, for man is a gateway of mystery, and the key that is one with the one. Seek ye within the circle, use the word I shall give. Open the gate within thee, and surely thou too shall live on. Man, ye think that ye liveth, but know it is life within death. For as sure as ye are bound to your body, for you no life exists. Only the soul is space-free, has life that is really a life. All else is only a bondage, a fetter from which to be free. Think not that man is earth-born, though come from the earth he may be. Man is light-born spirit. but without knowing he can never be free. Darkness surrounds the light-born, darkness fetters the soul. Only the one who is seeking may ever hope to be free. Shadows around thee are falling, darkness fills all space. Shine forth, O light of the man-soul, fill thou the darkness of space. Ye are son of the great light, remember, and ye shall be free. Stay not in the shadows, spring forth from the darkness of night. Light let thy soul be, O sun born, fill with glory of light. Freed from the bonds of the darkness, a soul that is one with the light. Thou art the key to all wisdom, within thee is all time and space. All right, that's good magic right there, biggin. I can certainly appreciate some good magic on a Sunday. Is it a Sunday for you or a Monday? Old Frank Monday found himself in the future once again, broadcasting back through time and space at y'all good-looking, sexy people out there in Happy Land. Shoot holler, baby. Let's get into this Emerald Tablet number 9, the key to freedom of space. Live not in bondage to darkness, free thou art thy light form from night. Great light that fills all the cosmos, flow thou fully to man. Make of his body a light torch that shall never be quenched among men. Long in the past sought I wisdom, knowledge not known to man. Far to the past I traveled, into the space where time began. Sought I ever new knowledge to add to the wisdom I knew? Yet only I found did the future hold the key to the wisdom I thought. Down to the halls of Amente I journeyed the greater knowledge to seek. Ask of thee, lords of the cycles, thy way to the wisdom I sought. Ask the lords this question, where is the source of all? Answered in tones that were mighty, the voice of the Lord of the Nine. Free thou thy soul from thy body, and come forth with me to the light. Forth I came from my body, a glittering flame in the night. Stood I before the Lord, bathed in the fire of life. Seized was I then by a force, great beyond knowledge of man. Cast was I to the abyss, through spaces unknown to man. Saw I the moldings of order, from the chaos and angles of night. Saw I the light spring from order, and heard the voices of light. Saw I the flame of the abyss, casting forth order and light. Saw order spring out of darkness, saw light giving forth life. Then I heard the voice, hear thou and understand, the flame is the source of all things, containing all things in potentiality. The order that sent forth light is the word, and from the word come life, and the existence of all. And again spoke the voice, saying, the life in thee is in the word. Find thou the life within thee, and have powers to use the word. Long I watched the light flame, pouring forth the essence of fire, realizing that life but order, and that man is one with the fire. Back I came to my body, and stood again with the 9, listened to the voice of the cycles, vibrate with powers they spoke. Know ye, O Toth, that life is but the word of the fire. The life forth ye seek before thee is but the word in the word as a fire. Seek ye the path to the word, and powers shall surely be thine. Then I asked of the 9, O Lord, show me the path. Give the path to the wisdom. Show me the way to the word. Answered me then the Lord of the Nine. Through order ye shall find the way. Saw ye that the word came from chaos? Saw ye not that light came from the fire? Look in thy life for this order. Balance and order thy life. Quell all the chaos of emotions, and thou shalt have order in life. Order brought forth from chaos will bring thee word of the source. Alrighty, right, that's some really good magic right there, biggin. I can certainly appreciate that, and I think most of you can too out there in Happy Land. You can like a toucan. We're gonna get into it. We just got 1, 2, 3, 4. Shoot holler. We only got 4 paragraphs left here in this old Emerald Tablet number 9. The key to freedom of space. Will thee the power of cycles, and make of thy soul a force that will free will extend through the ages, a perfect sun from the source. Listened I to the voice, and deep thanked the words in my heart. Forever have I sought for order, that I might draw on the word. Know ye that he who attains it must ever in order be for use of the word through this order has never and can never be. Take ye these words, O man, as part of thy life let them be. Seek thee to conquer this order, and one with the word thou shalt be. Put forth thy effort in gaining light on the pathway of life. Seek to be one with the sun state. Seek to be solely the light. Hold thou thy thought on the oneness of light, and with the body of man, know that all is order from chaos, born into light. So finishes Emerald Tablet 9, the key to freedom of space. Next Emerald Tablet is Emerald Tablet 10, guys, the key of time. Wow, we're really going to get into it then, huh? You've already made quite a bit of progress, Wayfarer. You should applaud yourself for your diligent study of the Book of Thoth and its Emerald Tablets. It's no small thing to undergo to read this material as a greater summoning ritual of Thoth. There are lesser summonings. There are smaller summonings. There's the simple invocation of Thoth. There's there's Liber Resh Helios. Many things can connect you with the god of magic, word and utterance. But it's up to you, Wayfarer, up to you and you alone, to make your way through the material and invoke with strong sincerities and flame yourself with prayer. We've already made it through the history of Thoth the Atlantean, Tablet 1. The Halls of Aminti, Tablet 2. The Key of Wisdom, Tablet 3. The Spaceborn, Tablet 4. The Dweller of Unal, Tablet 5. The Key of Magic, Tablet 6. The Seven Lords, Tablet 7. The Key of Mysteries, we did that one just yesterday, Wayfarer. Make sure you check back often and tune in so you too can keep up with the current material. The Key of Freedom of Space is the one we read today, and it is Tablet 9. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more tablets to go, guys, with 15 being the Secret of Secrets. Wow. We're going to get into it, man. Me and you together, Wayfarer. Just you and me. Just you and I. Traveling these darkened pathways of the prime material plane. We find ourselves floating freely within the Fathomless Cavern, surrounded by the minions and dwellers there, the denizens of the Underdark. Maybe you too have sat upon that crystal throne in Elikvad and visited thousand-pillared Iram, Have you, Wayfarer? Have you crossed the river sky and gone into the perfumed forests? I don't know, Wayfarer. Not everyone's done the magic, man. Not everyone's done the work. Not everyone knows the way. Not everyone knows the way in, and not everyone knows the way back. Sometimes people get lost in Dreamland. I'm here as your guide and friend along the pathways of Dreamland. I wouldn't want you to get lost, Wayfarer. That's why every time I tune in, I attempt to shine a light. And with shining that light, we're going to take a short intermission and listen to a wonderful song that people have been enjoying here online, the Goddess song. And I'll play the first part for it. It's just about a minute, and then I will sing the masculine chorus afterward. Please enjoy.
We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean. Hoof and horn, all that die shall be reborn. Corn and grain, all that fall shall rise again. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean. Sage and crone, wisdom's gift shall be our own. Crone and sage, wisdom is the gift of age. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean.
Alright, guys, and the masculine counterpart to that one is: we all come from the Godhead, and to him we shall return like a spark of flame, rising to the heavens. We all come from the Godhead, and to him we shall return like a ray of light, reaching for infinity. Good magic. I hope you guys appreciated that as much as I appreciated presenting it to you. I certainly do enjoy those old incantations of magical machinations that get us closer to source. Source energy is what it's all about for me, guys. And every time I take a deep breath in and hold, I connect with commanding myself to relax, aspiring to my holy guardian angel. My holy guardian angel and I are one. Take another deep breath. Imagine yourself growing taller and taller up above the horizon, far out into space. And then the Ein Sof 4 appearing above you. Inhale. Draw down that light into the mind. Ato. Bring it all the way down into the heart center. Abrahadabra. Reaching all the way down to the prime materials plane. Malkut. Reaching out to the right. Vegubra. Out to the left. Vegudula. And then putting your hands in supplication and prayer. Leolam. Amen. Good magic right there. Yeah, that's the way to get it done, guys. I'm telling you. I am telling you. Shoot holler. That is the good stuff right there. That's the good magic. Y'all good-looking, sexy people might know a little something about the good and the good magic. You might know a little something too about the bad magic and the bad guys. They're out there. The Dark Celestials. They're interested in stealing the jelly out of your donut. They don't want you to have any lead in your pencil or pep in your step. You know, if you're on fire for the Lord, then you got your nose to the grindstone and you're rolling with the punches, and that's not going to serve the Dark Celestials. You know, like our friend, the leader of old Team Evil, that old wicked crone that pretends to be your friend, but then stabs you in the back. Everybody knows who that is. Everybody knows what the minions of Team Evil are up to, and you shouldn't entertain them. You shouldn't allow them around you, because it's better to be alone than to be in bad company. And me personally, I would rather be alone than be in bad company, especially the bad company of the likes of them old minions of Team Evil. I ain't got time for them. Ain't never had, ain't never will. You know, sometimes you open your door to someone and you think, hey, maybe this person will be interesting to talk to. We might be able to have a progressive, enlightening conversation, but it just doesn't go that way with them old evil guys. Them old wicked, monstrous dwellers of the sewer. All they do is spew out noxious, odious, toxic, poisonous gas from their gobs. And you don't want to have no part in that. Let me tell you, friend. So now we're going to take a little bit of a deviation from our regularly programmed show, and we're going to look into 5 terrifying cults of ancient times. Let me see if I can.
Throughout the turbulent centuries of the Middle Ages, beneath the surface of crusades, coronations, and plagues, there existed darker currents that history barely dares to whisper about. Hidden in monastic archives, encoded in marginalia, and alluded to in suppressed inquisitorial records, are traces of secret brotherhoods and cults whose rites and beliefs defy conventional understanding. These were not merely heretical sects diverging from Christian doctrine. They were organizations steeped in ancient knowledge, pre-human mythologies, and cosmic horror. What follows is a reconstruction, imperfect, fragmented, of 5 such medieval cults, their surviving traces drawn from chronicles, grimoires, and whispers echoing through the halls of forbidden scholarship. The Silent Choir of Saint-Sergue.
Black magic is afoot, my friends, on this wicked, Stygian dark night. Imagine violent, gaseous storm clouds forming on the western horizon, emitting flashes of brilliant, thunderous bolts from Zeus himself, trying to awaken the sleeper. Here comes the silent choir of Saint Sergue. What wicked evil do they have in store for us, Wayfarer? Let's find out.
In the Jura Mountains near the village of Saint-Sergue, travelers and pilgrims once spoke of an abandoned monastery where no bells tolled and no chants were sung. Yet those who approached its moss-covered ruins at night swore they heard hymns in an unknown tongue, melodies that made the stars flicker and the trees lean in silent dread. Founded in the late 12th century, the Silent Choir was nominally a Cistercian offshoot. But archival fragments from a 13th century inquisitorial dossier refer to it as Ordo Muti Vocis, the Order of the Mute Voice. Unlike most monastic communities, its members took not only a vow of silence, but one of oral seclusion. No speaking, no listening, and above all, no hearing of mortal sounds. What then did they hear? A single surviving manuscript, the Liber Obscura Harmonia, bound in lambskin and inked with an iron-rich fluid resembling dried blood, contains diagrams of the human ear overlaid with concentric spirals and astrological sigils. In its margins, a frantic scribe had scrawled, "The song is not of this world. It is sung not to the soul, but to that which lies behind it." Modern occultists believe the cult sought to tune their consciousness to an ancient resonance emanating from beyond the stars. Some compare their goal to passages in the Necronomicon describing the Song of Azathoth, a cosmic rhythm that governs the dreams of the blind idiot god.
All right, there it is there. So you have the upshot. I mean, that's the key to the mystery right there, is that you can attune your consciousness to a non-human intelligence beyond the prime material plane at a celestial level, right? It could be, these could be fallen angels, in fact, and you got to be careful. You got to know which starry system you're dealing with and what to listen to. But it was all done through experimentation and practice, and what they left behind was simply record keeping. But don't let that stop you. If you're a chaos magician, a natural magician, get out there under the night sky and call down something from the heavens. But be sure that you're fucking solid in your magic, that you have the tetragrammaton firmly ensconced within your breast, and that you're open to Christ's consciousness, and you've generated a sufficient energy egg that you can defend yourself, because they might just rip you up off the earthly plane and take and devour your soul into the starry night, you know. So you got to be careful. Have you traveled the pathways of the Fathomless Cavern? Have you come up through the Labyrinth of Mirrors and the Chamber of Echoes, right? Have you climbed the Ladder of Ascent and stood upon the ledge of revelation and seen the choir of angels? If not, then don't fucking do it. Don't go about it. But guy like me, that's what I'm here for, guys. I'm here to get into it and get real magic done with you and other wayfarers of this plane. Let's hear a little more. You know, you might not be attuned to the shrill piping flutes of those denizens that circle and play their melodious tune to keep Azathoth, the blind idiot god, asleep and slumbering, so that he does not awaken and consume the world.
The Crimson Veil of Carcosa. The Crimson Veil of Carcosa.
Alright guys, so that was the first one. Man, what a journey, what a thing, what a frightening thing to behold, right? When a shambler from the stars is called down and an invisible servitor and rips another man apart. An astral vampire Nosferatu, creature of the night. Right, those timeless beings that empowered Vlad the Impaler and Dracula. So be careful, Wayfarer. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Next up is the Crimson Veil of Carcosa. Let's find out what these nefarious ne'er-do-wells were doing back in ancient times.
Much has been written, mostly fictionally, about Carcosa. Yet tantalizing references to a group known as the Crimson Veil appear in several 14th century French and Burgundian chronicles. Their true name, if they had one, is lost. But the epithet Crimson Veil comes from a recurring symbol, a blood-red cloth worn over the face during rituals, its surface embroidered with a broken crown and 7 black stars. According to the Chronicon Savoy, a sect based in the ruined Abbey of Montségur was devoted to the mysteries of the dying king whose court resides in shadow. A 1361st papal edict condemns them as blasphemers who drink the dream wine and invoke the unseen masquerade.
Yeah, so a part of it in doing ceremonial magic is that you do have accoutrements and robes and various magical implements. And what are these things all meant to do, right? They're not requisite for doing good magic. They're meant to create psychic shifts within the practitioner, right? So when you put on the crimson veil and start to go about a ritual, and I would never Wayfarer, I would never recommend any kind of black magic, except for like Colombian Supremo, which is my favorite form of black magic. But I would never recommend blood magic or any type of sacrificial thing. And remember that these videos are meant for entertainment purposes only. This is all within the realm of fantasy. But putting on a mask, like if you've ever worked with like an improv troupe or a theater troupe or anything like that, and when you put on a mask, it creates a psychic shift within you. You feel like you can be freer to express the sentiment of the mask and do magic on an even more powerful level. So if you haven't tried it before, you might want to give it a try. Get yourself an anonymous mask or a mask from your local craft store and decorate it to represent some sort of god form for yourself to assume. You know, you could do one like Amun Ra, or you could do Astarte, or any one. You could put some feathers on your head, and you could be a featherhead and dance around skyclad in the woods with the other featherheads and enjoy that form of shamanistic revelation, because it is useful and it works. It's better than drugs, man. Better than drugs and alcohol. Get at it, baby. Don't be scared.
Several apocryphal copies of the Book of Ibon mention a nameless cult in southern Gaul that practiced the tearing of the veil, a trance state achieved through fasting, chant, and bloodletting, during which initiates claim to see a golden city by a black lake, ruled by a rotting monarch. This image reappears centuries later in the writings of Chambers, and scholars argue it represents a deeply embedded archetype of cosmic dread. Perhaps the most disturbing relic is the so-called veil fragment, a torn cloth discovered in a reliquary near Lyon, whose fabric seems to shimmer faintly under moonlight and causes feelings of vertigo in those who touch it. The Keepers of the Black Eucharist.
All right, so I'd like to point out at this time, guys, that there are certain individuals out there that say, "Hey, show me the receipts. I don't necessarily believe in magic." And there are even extremely persistent atheist people that say, "Hey, Frater Francis, Mr. Frank Monday, I don't believe in God." And I look back right into their hollow, soulless eyes, and I tell them with great authority, "That's fine and dandy, because God doesn't believe in you either. You godless fool!" Right? So, obviously, again, this is for entertainment purposes. I need to remind you over and over again so that you don't get swayed one way or the other. But, it's a thing, when you don't believe in God, it's really a fact. God doesn't believe in you either, and your life is just godless, and you might as well, degenerate back into the dirt and hang out with the worms. That's why Ludwig von Pren wrote De Vermis Mysteriis, right? The Book of the Worm. And it's meant for those types of NPC people in the world who are just lost and wandering in darkness. And we do need to kind of shine a light to help lead some of them out of the darkness. But there are certain ones that they're just stubbornly hostile. And they accept no admonition for their actions. And they have no guilt. They have no conscience. And better to leave them to their own devices, right? If you're following a spiritual path, don't be sidetracked. Keep most of your work silent and secret. And that's why it said you're to dare to know and to be silent. Because, why waste your breath, right? Why waste your breath? Let's get into these next nefarious group of evildoers, the Keepers of the Black Eucharist, and see what kind of madness they got into.
The 13th century Codex Regni Obscuri, a partially burned manuscript stored in the Bodleian Library, speaks of a clandestine order known as Custodes Eucharistiae Nigri, the keepers of the Black Eucharist. Their origin is uncertain, but their presence is most documented in the plague-ridden city of Avignon during the 1340s. Unlike conventional heresies, which often diverged on matters of dogma, this cult's blasphemies were sacramental. According to a Dominican inquisitor named Amandus of Narbonne, the cult held midnight masses in desecrated chapels, where the host was blackened with ash and soaked in the blood of the willing. Not in honor of Christ, he wrote, but as tribute to the eater beneath. Some have interpreted this as a distorted Eucharistic inversion. Others, drawing from references in De Vermis Mysteris, believe the ritual was a direct invocation of Shodamel, a chthonic deity said to hunger for the blood of the earth and the minds of the faithful. One chilling account describes a ceremony in which communicants consumed the host and immediately entered catatonic states, their eyes weeping tar-like ichor. Witnesses claimed they spoke in unison during these trances, describing vast mouths opening beneath the world, and a feast of souls on the altar of forgetting. The Worm Lords of Helmgart.
All right, that last group, man, wow, that was really something. Before we move forward, Wayfarer, would like to remind you that goodness alone is power, silence is strength, will regaineth omnipotence, and love lieth at the foundation. Let love guide you, right? And it might guide you over to wayfarers like old Talcadia, right? And it might guide you to other individuals here in Happy Land that can offer you various transmissions on works. One in particular that I joined in over the weekend, I spent a lot of my time listening to TML, or The Machine Lies, this weekend, and he does a really wonderful transmission, man. It's good stuff. He's doing good magic. He looks into lots of different philosophers and magicians and texts, and so you can find him here on YouTube. His OG channel was called The Machine Lies, but he's now opened a new channel where he also live streams from 6 hours a day, something like that. Quite a thing, right? So he's a YouTube full-time employee in my mind. It's called Cyber Caliphate 0101, and I will put that in the chat box, and I'll leave a link to it in the description box, or on the pinned comment rather. So make sure you check that out and give him a sub, because he's still down around, like, I think 150, he's right under 200 subs. And yeah, so do some good magic, guys. Get over there, tell him Frank Monday sent you. I always like to get a little bit of credit for sending people over to other good people. It's one of my favorite channels here on YouTube. And stop by Jack Talcott's if you're interested in the Jerry Springer effect and seeing some real interesting individuals kind of go at it, you know, neck and neck, claw to claw. And it's good fun, though. Jack tries to do his best to herd cats and be the head lunatic reigning over the asylum. So that's always good fun. I like to stop by anytime I can and give him a little encouragement and offer my support. So I'll put both of those links in the pinned comments, guys. Let's get into this next one. The Worm Lords of Helmgart. Wow, that sounds interesting.
Deep in the Black Forest, the mountain town of Helmgart was once infamous for a series of disappearances that spanned generations. Local folklore told of a king under the tree, a being that demanded tribute in flesh. While modern historians dismiss this as a remnant of pagan belief, a 15th century Dominican report suggests something more sinister. This report, badly damaged but still legible, describes a cult known as the Dominus Vermium, or Lords of the Worm, who believed that death was but a chrysalis. Their emblem, found carved into the walls of a collapsed chapel near Helmgart, was a spiral descending into a mouth. The Liber Tenebrarum, attributed to an anonymous Teutonic monk, describes a ritual burial in which the faithful were interred alive to listen to the whispers in the soil. Months later, the tombs were found empty. More alarming are passages that suggest the cult believed some worms were not native to Earth. These entities, called Elids, appear in both De Vermis Mysteries and obscure Babylonian tablets. The Wormlords of Helmgart may have worshipped these beings, seeing them as the architects of rebirth and decay. One line from the Liber Tenebrarum remains particularly unsettling. In their hunger, they do not destroy, they shape. In their silence, they teach. The Starry Wisdom of Montpellier.
All right, the Wormlords of Helgmort. I forget exactly how that one was worded, but yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing because that's within the Chinese canon of Taoism too. They believe that there are actually 3 worms that live in the body, one at each of the Dantians, and these 3 worms they're like parasites within every human being, and they try to manipulate the person into their downfall. So the lower worm in the infernal Dantian, it tries to grow into a demonic force that will cause the individual to overly engage in sexual activity and perversion and try to kill them that way. And then the center Dantian worm at the terrestrial palace will try to pervert the person into extreme emotions like anger and sadness and other forms of even the positive emotions, but they'll try to parasitically guide the person to feed themselves and to engorge themselves on those hormones, and then they'll take over the person, and try to destroy them that way. And then the third worm resides in the celestial Dantian at the top Dantian, this elixir field, and they try to encourage the person to overly engage in intellectual dichotomy and to become overly intellectual and cutting with one's intelligence and to read too much and study too much, when that's not how spirituality is necessarily achieved with either 3 of these worms. So there are 3 worms, one in each of the Dantians, and the work of the practitioner of Oriental Taoism, right, is to use the heat within the Dantians to burn these worms out. And then, the same idea is true too, that you transform them from their demonic state into guardian angels. And so when combining this with the Hermetic teaching, then we can transform these worm-like creatures into something else, into spiritual servitors that will aid and assist the magician in the great work. So once you've eradicated them out and then replaced them with a good spiritual entity, which is essentially just a creation of your internal Dantian, your elixir field, that's a part of you, then you recognize and represent them and cultivate them towards positive virtues, and this frees a person from the ultimate destruction of death, and you achieve spiritual immortality. And some individuals can achieve physical immortality, at least for a limited time on Earth as well. Like in ancient times, they could achieve unto 300 years was pretty common among most Taoist practitioners. And then some of the bigger guys would go like 700 years, and there were even those who could achieve like 1,000 years or 1,200 years. Obviously, in prehistoric times, they could achieve even greater lengths, like 10,000 years of physical incarnation in perfect health, and so they had much greater control over their DNA. But these days, that seems to become increasingly harder to do. But even with that, in less than 100 years, you can still achieve spiritual immortality and break yourself free of all of the chains that bind ordinary human individuals, right? Like the chains of the yin-yang, the dualistic sphere, the false dichotomy, the chains of the the triangular three-dimensional spaces and learn to utilize curved spaces to navigate the extra dimensional angles, those non-Euclidean spaces, and then the 5 elements or the 5 internal organs that are connected with the emotions, and then upward and onward, break through the octahedron, the 12 signs of the zodiac, and even higher and loftier pursuits, right? So that's up to you. That's up to you, practitioner. If that's something you're interested in, here's where we learn about it. Little shout out to Creek Mary. Good to see you. I can appreciate you stopping by to say hello. If you're out there in Happy Land, you'd like to join the conversation, just let me know. Say, hey, Frank Monday, I'd like to chat, and I will shoot the link out there into the ideas room. If not, once we finish this video, I'm going to wander off into the abodes of the future, baby. But yeah, get with it, get busy, and let me know. I love y'all good-looking, sexy people out there in Happy Land. Just keep on keeping on. Let's get into this next one. The Starry Wisdom of Montbellar.
Though the name Starry Wisdom is more famously associated with 19th century cults in Providence and London, its earliest documented presence may date back to the 14th century in southern France. Letters preserved in the Vatican secret archives speak of a heretical sect based around the University of Montpellier, known for its radical thinkers and alchemists. A letter from Bishop Guillaume de Narbonne in 1329 laments the rise of a cabal of astrologers who commune not with the stars of God's making, but with those beyond creation. The sect's temple, long since destroyed, was described as circular, with a domed ceiling painted in a map of a non-Euclidean sky. Certain texts recovered from the site, now catalogued anonymously in the British Museum, bear symbols matching those found in the Pnakotic manuscripts, and one contains a disturbing reference to the Watcher in the Void whose 1,000 eyes see all futures as one. According to fragments of a grimoire attributed to a Magister Hugo de Blay, initiates sought to expand their consciousness through the ritual ingestion of black ether, a vapor distilled from mercury and belladonna. During these states, they spoke of the Tower of Bone at the edge of the sky, and a sea of eyes beneath the firmament. While the cult was eradicated during the Black Death, some argue their teachings influenced Renaissance Hermeticism and even the later Rosicrucians. Yet their legacy remains tainted by one final phrase found scrawled on the walls of their ruin. The stars are windows. Do not look too long.
Yeah, I feel you, Mary. No worries. Yeah, I only planned on going about an hour. I got a bunch of stuff to do. Today's International Children's Day here in China. I don't think that the U.S. actually celebrates Children's Day, but it's more of like an East Asian thing. So it's celebrated in like Japan and China and the areas around here. But yeah, it's Children's Day. So we got a day off for the holiday. And as a result, I was chilling. I was getting all my laundry done. And I thought a little investigation into these 5 cults from ancient times would be of interest. Stars are windows, and there's some interesting things I could tell you guys about the stars and some basic practices. But I wouldn't give this information out freely on the internet. I would require one to do, like the adoration of Abractus for a while, and you'd have to know at least the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, and you would have to do some of the basic hermetic ceremonial magic that I engage in, and then I could open you up to a really interesting practice for communication with the stars. But it's kind of scary, and it would shock any other ordinary individual. But yeah, I'm not gonna reveal those types of esoteric practices, because there are prohibitions and you've got to do some of the requisite work beforehand. But yeah, I would be more than happy to share with anybody who's interested. Make sure you join my Discord. You can find the link in the About section on my page here on YouTube. So just jump on the Frank Monday channel, check out the About section or the More section or whatever they call it now. And then there should be a link, an invitation link to the Lunar Light Entertainment Discord. And the other way to reach out to me, of course, as you guys know, is on the coffee page, right? The only way to get me a message on the coffee page, though, is to actually, buy a coffee. So if you put a little something in the tip jar, that'll keep the lead in my pencil, the jelly in my donut, and the pep in my step, and that keeps me working hard at the grindstone for y'all good-looking, sexy people. Let's get into this next one. The stars are windows. Do not look too long, man. That's real good magic advice there.
These cults, if real, represent only the faintest glimpse into a medieval world saturated with fear, mystery, and forbidden yearning. Whether driven by madness, esoteric knowledge, or the whispers of inhuman entities, they reveal a side of history that resists illumination. For every burned manuscript, for every silenced heretic, for every sealed crypt, there remains the possibility that some truths are not meant to be buried. And as the occult scholar Aldous Therian once wrote in his commentaries on the Unseen Orders, "The past is not dead, it dreams beneath us, and sometimes it remembers who we are."
All right, y'all good-looking, sexy people. That's about it. I think that was the end of the video, right? Let me see, where did that leave off? I missed that last little phrase there. Let me replay that. Should be here. No, here.
The past is not dead. It dreams beneath us.
Why this isn't working?
And sometimes it remembers who we are. And sometimes it remembers who we are.
Yeah, that right there. I think that's kind of a play on Lovecraft's Cthulhu sleeps in his sunken city at R'lyeh, dreaming the world into being, and the dreaming of Azathoth, the blind idiot god at the center of the cosmos. So yeah, these definitely hold some of the keys to Dreamland, and I can always appreciate various Wayfarers bringing this type of information forward. The one thing that's kind of a little bit shoddy in its presentation, I believe, is all of the AI generated imagery, and people like this kind of thing. They really do. They like they like having that in the background, and then I don't know if the voice is AI generated, but it may in fact be. But the thing is with those things is they lack a human connection, and they don't resonate with you long enough. Like, it's all being churned out so rapidly and in mass production now that it's increasingly of less and less value. Some of that stuff is, well, I do believe in past civilization. It's all very Lovecraftian. Yeah, this is all play on. In fact, that entire channel that presents those videos, Mary, is based on Lovecraft's writings. And so it's called, I believe that channel is called The Mysteries of the Worm. So you can look it up for yourself. And they churn out so many videos like him and Grimface Motivation and a couple of others. They're turning out like anywhere from 5 to 10 videos a week, which just kind of lessens the value of it because you don't have time to absorb any of it. It's just information overload. It's all TMI. It's just too much information. Yeah, but it's called, if you know how to spell Ludwig Prinz de Vermis Mysterious, that's what the name of the website is. I remember now. If I can remember to, I'll put it in the pinned comment, and it'll be a link for you guys to check out later on. I certainly do appreciate y'all stopping by and checking in with me today. I was hoping that maybe some folks stopped by a little earlier. I had originally intended to transmit at a much earlier time than this, and thought I might have a little free time to chit chat with some folks here online. But it's already getting late into the afternoons here. It's 4:20 right now, p.m. in Twilight Zone Old Peking, deep within the central kingdom of the celestial dragon, far behind the bamboo firewall. I've been your host for the hour, Frater Francis Lunas Aristeas of the Ordo Templi Astarte et al. I hope y'all good-looking, sexy people keep on doing well out there in Happy Land. Check me out on buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. And I'm going to finish off with the invocation of total integration. If you know it, say it with me. It goes a little something like this. Take a deep breath in. Hold for 3, 2, 1, command yourself to relax. Heaven and earth are the spontaneous manifestations of the subtle, wondrous universal law. As the original oneness expresses itself, gross and subtle energies become distinctly divided. Our bodily caves are brightly illuminated by the mysterious light from the three sources, our three Dantian bridge points leading to immortality. The powerful spirits of the 8 directions conjoin one's being with the true origin of life. By the absolute order of the divine Ling Bao in the highest 9th heaven, send the positive energies of Qianluo, Dana, Dengkan, and Taishuan to destroy our spiritual obstacles and debilitate any evil influence. This order is given by the highest sovereignty. It is a jade oracle from the subtle origin. I invoke with strong sincerity to drive away the demons and evils and lengthen my healthy years. The attained spirits respond. The evil demon king Mo Wang is chained to stand as our garden servant. The powerful atmosphere has been generated, dispersing all negativity. The Qi of Tao is everlasting. So it is commanded and confirmed. So mote it be. Amen. Remember, dear Wayfarer, goodness alone is power, silence is strength, will regaineth omnipotence, and love lieth at the foundation. The great work is, before all things, creation of man by himself. That is to say, the complete and total control of his faculties and his future, and it is especially the emancipation of your will. So do what thou will is the whole of the law, because love is the law, love under will. Until next time, y'all good-looking sexy people, ad astra per aspera and carpe diem, keep doing good magic, and I'll see you on the next transmission.